So what you'll need for this project is some medium weight 4 yarn. I'm using Mako cotton yarn from the Line Brand yarn collection, and this cotton yarn is really soft and holds together beautifully. They come in an assortment of really lovely colors, so be sure to check that out. And what you'll be hooking with is a 6mm crochet hook. So let's begin. Be sure to follow along with the free pattern on my website. Having the written instructions will make it a lot easier. We're going to start with a foundation double crochet row, and what you're going to do for that is chain 3, then yarn over, insert your hook into the first chain or the third chain from the hook, which is the first chain you made. Pull up your yarn, and instead of doing a double crochet just yet, you're going to make the foundation by yarning over, pulling through that first loop. That's the first foundation. Then you're going to double crochet like normal, like so. Now, repeat the process. Yarn over, insert your hook into this foundation chain area. Pull through. Now make the foundation like so, and then finish your double crochet like that. We're going to do it again. Yarn over, insert your hook into the foundation, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over, make your double crochet. And I know I'm going a little bit fast for this tutorial, but because this part is a pretty basic foundational beginning, but if you like a slowed down, well-explained part for this, please check out my tutorial in the description box below. It focuses on just the foundation double crochet. So what you're going to do is keep making foundation double crochets until you get the right size that you need. So for what I'm going to be demonstrating with, I'll be making 62 double crochets. And remember that the first chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Okay, so that is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm currently trying to make 7. All right, so we'll work on that right now and meet back when you've got your foundation double crochet ready. Alright, so now after you've made your long foundation double crochet, and I made 62 here for the smallest size, you're going to move on to row 2. First, start off by doing 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. You're going to turn your piece. The first 3 chains would count as your first double crochet. So to make your next one, you're going to do it on top of the second one here. So you're going to double crochet, and you're going to actually double crochet across the entire row as part of row 2. So that's all there is to it. Go ahead and double crochet across like so. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull out, pull through the first 2 loops, pull through the second 2 loops for your double crochet. All right. So I'm going to work through this part, and we'll meet at the start of row 3. Alright, so now that you have finished row 2, you'll see that you've done your double crochets all the way across to the very end. We're going to start row 3, and it's the exact same as row 2 because you'll start with 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and those 3 chains would be your first double crochet. So in the next stitch, you're going to insert another double crochet. Like so, and all the way across. I'll do a few. Alright, so as you can see here, I started row 3 with these double crochets. You're going to do the same and work all the way across the same way. Alright, so at this point, you have finished row 3 with the double crochets across. Now it's time to get to the next part of the pattern. For row 4, you're going to chain 3 to start. 1, 2, and 3. Turn the piece, and then double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me see how that's going. Okay, so since your first double crochet or your first chain 3 counts as a double crochet, you'll actually have 6 double crochets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now it's time to start the shell part, which I think is really fun. So first, you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the next one, you're going to insert 4 double crochets. So I'm going to insert it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet in that same stitch. So that makes 1 shell, and you're going to do that across like so. For this next part, you're going to skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the next stitch, insert a shell. So here I'm going to do the 4 double crochets. Chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, and that makes the second shell. Again, repeat by skipping 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the next stitch, insert 4 double crochets. Chain 3, insert a double crochet in the same stitch. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, insert a shell. Chain 3 and double crochet in that same stitch. Skipping 4, insert your shell. chain 3 and double crochet in that same stitch. Alright, so now you should have 10 shells across if you're working on the smallest size. So here to count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And what you're going to do next is skip 2 stitches, and then the last 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to just double crochet. So skip 2 and then double crochet in the last 6 stitches. There, and that is it for row 4. That's a total of 10 shells, and you've got 6 double crochets on one side, 6 on the other end. Now for row 5, here's what you're going to do. Chain 3 to start. That's your first double crochet. Double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, and 5. And you'll notice that you've come to this first shell that you made, or this last shell you made from the previous row. Here, you're going to insert a shell in that chain 3 space. So you're going to do the 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and here's 4, all in that chain 3 space. You're going to chain 3 and double crochet in that same space. That completes one shell. Then you're going to skip the next 4 stitches. You see these double crochets here? Skip all of those and jump to the next chain 3 space. Insert a shell. Remember, a shell is 4 double crochets plus 3 chains and 1 double crochet. So here are my 4 double crochets, 3 chains, and 1 double crochet. Skip the next 4 stitches and jump over to the next. Skip over the next 4 stitches, jump over to the next chain 3 space, insert a shell as usual, and you'll see that this part works up so quickly because of these nice big shell stitches. You're doing a lot of skipping here, and it's also very repetitive because you'll be repeating row 5 all through this shell section. Alright, so I just finished up the last shell on this row, As you can see, there are no more chain 3 spaces now. You skip the 4 stitches, and in the end, you're just going to insert a double crochet in each of those. So that's going to be inserting 6 double crochets in the last 6 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there you have it. That is row 5 of the pattern. It's going to be pretty breezy from this point on out, because you'll be repeating row 5 throughout until you reach the last border area again. So I'll meet back when we get to that part. Alright, so at this point I have finished all the shell rows. This is row 21 finished for the size small pattern. And if you'd like to add additional rows of the shell, feel free to. You can make this a much longer top if you'd like. Just make sure that you end with a border like so, which is what I'm going to show you now. So go ahead and crochet up to the number of rows you want. As I mentioned, I stopped at row 21 for this size. So now, as you can see, here it is. We've got the bordering on the sides and the bordering on this edge, this bottom edge. Now we're going to do the top edge. So what you're going to do is start off with the chain 3 as usual. 1, 2, 3. You've turned your piece. Insert 5 double crochets in the next 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when you come to the shell or the chain 3 space, you're going to insert 5 double crochets all in that spot. Okay, so here's what it's going to look like. 1 double crochet right inside that space, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I have 5 double crochets sitting in that shell or in that chain 3 space. I'm going to jump over to the next chain 3 space and insert 5 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And as you crochet across this row, make sure you repeat this sequence. So in each of those chain 3 spaces, you're going to insert a 5 double crochets. So go down this row. At the very end, we're just going to put a double crochet in each of these 6 stitches at the end. Okay? So we'll meet back when that's done. Alright, so that's that for row 22. We went across that row by doing 5 double crochets in each of those chain 3 spaces like so. And again, when we get to those ends, the beginning and border ends, just put a double crochet in each of those stitches. Now we're going to finish up with this border, and what you're going to do is start with that chain 3 like so. Turn the piece, and easy peasy, you're going to just work a double crochet in each of the stitches across. So I'll show you what that looks like for the first few, and then we'll meet again at the end of the row. So double crochet in each of those stitches, double crochet, oops, slippery yarn. It's so soft to work with though. I feel like my fingers are blessed just holding it right now. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just going to insert double crochets right across. Oops, sorry, let me readjust that. Okay. Don't worry about whether or not you are on these, like this shell section. Just do double crochets straight across. So on each of these stitches, here I'm on a shell, I'm just inserting a double crochet, like so. Alright, so I'm going to pause there to show the piece to you so far. As you can see, it's just a straight double crochet all the way across. So go ahead and continue that to the end of the row. What you're going to do next is also chain 3 and repeat by double crocheting all the way across the other way. And we'll meet back there, okay? Alright, so this is now the finished border of my piece. I just finished row 24 for this particular size, and as you can see, the last two rows, 23 and 24, are simply just double crochets all the way across the piece. So this first panel is done. After you finish one panel, you're going to make a second, and I will show you how to put those together and sew it for the top. What you can do at this point is simply fasten off by cutting the yarn, and you're going to take the end and weave it in with a yarn needle into the piece. Okay, so now repeat the instructions to make the second panel, and we'll meet back again to finish it by sewing it together. Alright, so now here are two of the panels finished. As you can see, we've got the shell section in the middle, and there's a border outlining it here. And I'll put the two panels together on top of each other. What we're going to do next is crochet the sleeve section. So if I pull this over a little bit, you'll see that here, I'm going to line this up. This will be the top of the the top of the top and to the side will be the sleeve section. This will be the side of the top, and this is the bottom of the top. Okay, so what I'm going to do is count out the number of rows I need for the sleeve section, and for this size I'm going to need, and you can adjust this too, okay? Don't feel like you have to do the same size for the sleeves as I do. It's very easy to adjust. I'm going to do 10 rows, and if you want to figure out which size is best for you, find perhaps a t-shirt where the sleeve is very comfortable for you, and you can kind of match up the t-shirt sleeve here to figure out how large of a sleeve you want. So for me, or for this size, it's going to be 10 rows down from the top. So with this being the top, I'm going to count down 10 rows. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, right over here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my hook. Let me turn this around a little bit so you could see. Here's the 10th row. Okay, I'm going to insert my hook into a stitch here. For the 10th row, and grab some yarn because you'll be attaching and joining some yarn. So here I'm going to double check. Okay, so here I'm going to join the yarn like so, and then I'm going to chain 3 upwards. 1, 2, 3. This is going to act like the first double crochet, and the sleeves will really just be a double crochet around. Okay, so now I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch. So find the next stitch to the side, and these might be a little bit tight because you're going into the chain 3 starts that you made when you were doing the shell section. So there's that, and I'm going to keep going around. Like so. And as you can see, I kind of hold my tail inside so that when you're crocheting, you won't need to worry about weaving in the ends. You can just naturally do that as you're crocheting this row. It will disappear into my double crochets here. I'm struggling a bit because these are tighter stitches. They're those little chains at the start, so I have to kind of wiggle my hook in there. Okay. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, as you get to the end, you're going to continue on the other side. So here, this is the first panel. I've done some double crochets across. Excuse me. Now what I'm going to do is continue double crocheting and into excuse me, into the very next panel here. So I'm holding where it would join. I'm going to make a double crochet and attach it to okay, the chain 3 here. Move this up so you can see it a little better. Okay, so as you can see, here are the 2 panels. Here's the top of the top. Let me see it. Okay, pull that down a little bit. Here's the top of the top. Here's where the neck hole would be, and we've double crocheted upwards towards this direction. Now we're joining the panels together. So after that, I'm going to also double crochet down 10 rows. This was 1 row so far, and you want to do the exact same rows to match the other panel. And what I'm doing here is I'm taking that yarn tail and I'm also tucking it in while I crochet. This way there's less work in weaving in the ends. Alright, so as you can see here, I've double crocheted down both of these panels, joining them rather than fastening off. So here I've done 20 double crochets on each of these sides. There were 10 rows. I put 2 double crochets on top of each row. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take your piece together and you're going to join the sleeve section. So you take this and let me hold it this way. You get the 2 ends. Here's the end with your hook right now, and here's the end that you want to join it to, which is the other end of the sleeve. You're going to find that top chain 3, and then which counts as the first double crochet, and then you're going to do a slip stitch to join. Okay? And with that, I do want to let you know that if you would like to make a longer sleeve, you are welcome to do another row, or if you want to opt for a short, just a very short hint of a sleeve, feel free to stop there. So you can either fasten off, or you can continue and go around for another round, or as many as you would like. All right? And what you want to do after that is do the same on the other side of your top. So you are going to want to also do the same number of rows. So for example, if you did 10 rows, counting down from the top, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, then you want to match it up and do 10 rows here as well. If you did 12 rows, then go to 12 rows, etc. Okay? So we'll meet back after finishing with both sleeves. Alright, so now at this point, I have finished making the sleeves on both sides. Here is one sleeve, and here is the other sleeve. And as you can see, we're going to now kind of wrap up the project by making the strap section. And I have a couple of hair clips here to just kind of gauge how large I would like the neck opening to be and where I'd like the straps to be placed. So this is totally up to you as to where you would want to put your straps at, if you want it closer together for your neck or like farther away, and that will determine kind of it depends on your comfort level and what you prefer. But if you want to follow my pattern exactly for this size, what I do is, not counting the sleeves, I went 15 stitches in. So 15 here, and there are 15 here. And the straps will be 4 stitches, it'll take up 4 stitches each. And then in the middle, I have, I believe it's 22, let me double check. Yes, in the middle I have 22 stitches open for the neckline here. just for one panel. With the other panel, that would be 44 stitches total. So what I'm going to do here is I'll demonstrate the strap portion. So I'll do this side then. So I'm going to count, I'm going to double check and count 15 stitches in. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, yep, 6 here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so this would be my next stitch here. I'm going to join the yarn, attach the yarn, and I'm going to chain 3 to start. This is going to be my first double crochet. I'm going to double crochet in the next 3 stitches. This will make 4 total, so 1, 2, and 3 here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3 and then I'm going to turn the piece. So let me just turn this big old piece here so you can see that. Turn the piece. I'm going to decrease in the middle here. So I'm basically double crocheting these 2 middle stitches together, like so, and double crochet in that last stitch. All right. So as you can see, that's 4 stitches on the bottom, 3 stitches up here, and then I'm going to do 4 stitches again. That's going to make, I'm going to chain 3 here. Oops. I'm sorry, did I say 4? 3 stitches. So I'm going to do a double crochet in each of these stitches. 1 and 2. So there's 4, 3, 3, and now I'm going to do 4 again. Chain 3, turn the piece, and I'm going to increase in that center here. So I'm going to put 2 double crochets. That's going to end up giving me 4 stitches total. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th will be that last stitch here. Okay, so that's going to be the strap. There's 4 and then 3 stitches, 3 stitches, and then 4 stitches. And what you're going to do is you're going to fasten off with a tail, and you're going to sew it to the other side. I'll show you how that's done. So let me go ahead and fasten off first. That's a long enough tail. Okay. Clean up my area here. It's kind of a lot of fabric. Okay. Make sure I have the right side. Okay, here we go. So we started off making that strap. Now we're going to sew it to the other side. And I'm going to do it by counting in. Make sure I have 15 on this side too. So we counted in 15 stitches there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so the next one over, this one, will line up with the other row. So I'm going to take the yarn needle, string that in, and I'm going to make sure I go into that stitch, that corresponding stitch, And I will sew it together like so. So it'll go in each of the next 4 stitches. This is the 3rd stitch, and here's the 4th. All right, there we are. So that's that for the sleeve. I'm just going to kind of tuck in my end here, sewing it into the piece. Oops. All right, and you can go ahead and snip off that end once you've done that. All right, so there is one strap that I've made. Let me snip off this little end too. It's kind of long. Pull that in. Okay, so there's one strap, and all you have to do is repeat that process on the other side. And then after that, we'll come together and sew the sides down, and you'll be all done with your top. Alright, so at this point, I have here the 2 little straps. As you can see, they are tiny, and they provide this nice neckline in the middle. And all that's really left to do at this point is to sew up the sides of the top. So I'm going to demonstrate that here. Let me turn around this way. Okay, and you're going to want to do this for both of the sides. We're going for symmetry here, of course. All right, so here is a sleeve. I know my ends aren't woven in yet, but I do that at the very end of the project. And here I have the 2 panels still open and flappy. So you want to sew down this line, and it's up to you as to where you want to stop. You can stop, here's the border part before the shells begin. So you could stop here for kind of a uniform finish if you'd like only the border to be popped up. Or if you want a larger flap, you can feel free to do that too. So totally up to you as to what your preference is, or you can even sew all the way down and not have an open flap at all. Okay, so what I'm going to demonstrate here is I'll just go down a bit. I didn't cut too much yarn, so we'll see how long this one takes me, but I'm hoping to get to the border. Alright, so I've got my yarn needle and my yarn, and I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to insert my needle through both ends. Let me just start off at the last stitch. Okay. I'm going to kind of tie it over here. And I'll sew that end in too from here. Okay. So go ahead and sew stitch by stitch down this side as I'm showing here. You could do a whip stitch, or if you want to do a running stitch, that's fine too. Alright, so at the end here, I'm just going to fasten off by tying my knot. Snip off the end there. And as you can see, the side is now all stitched up, and it leaves just a little border flap open. So what you'll want to do is, as mentioned, repeat this seamed stitch on the other side of your top, and then you will be all done. Well, then you'll have to weave in your ends, and then you'll be all done. So that's that. And hope you enjoyed making this. I'll show a few pictures of what it looks like finished.